Welcome to Kickstart, a New American Dream. We're here to give you some ideas, some inspiration to take this country to its highest dream, the dream that the forefathers had for this nation. We believe that there's a crisis of conscience at the root of the foreclosure crisis and the mortgage meltdown. We each have a choice. Are we going to choose life, or are we going to choose profit? The Keynesian model of bottom line economics has played itself out. Millions of people are losing their homes, and the CEOs of large banks are taking mega bonuses. There's something unconscionably wrong with this picture. I want to dedicate this evening to my great grandmother and grandfather, William and Alice Mullins, who got on a little ship called the Mayflower with their two little children, Priscilla and Robert, in 1620, because they believed that it was humanity's right and responsibility to act according to their conscience in service of the common good, the commonwealth. Well, Alice and Williams and Robert died the first winter in Plymouth. But their daughter Priscilla married John Alden, had 11 children, and the rest is a tumultuous history of humanity playing out its free will in its struggle for a higher place. Henry David Thoreau, in the 1850s, also believed in the higher conscience. And in Civil Disobedience, he inspired Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Tolstoy to act according to their conscience and stand up for what they believed was right. I'd like to read a little quote from Henry David Thoreau that's very applicable for tonight. "The only obligation which I have the right to assume is to do at any time that what I think right. It is truly enough said that a corporation has no conscience, but a corporation of conscientious men is a corporation with a conscience." He goes on to say, "Action from principle, the perception and the performance of right, changes things and relations. It is essentially revolutionary. It not only divides states and churches, it divides families. It divides the individual, separating the diabolical from the divine." The Mayflower Pilgrims lived in peace and friendship for 50 years with the Native Americans that they encountered when they came into Plymouth. And Henry Thoreau spent his life researching the cosmology of the Native American that they embodied in their way of life before contact. The American mind is a synthesis of that Native American thought and the high aspirations that the founders of this nation had for humanity. We're here tonight in Aspen, Colorado, a place that has brought the leaders of the world in the evolution of consciousness through the years here. It has also been a community that has honored its native people. Tonight, we have Kenny Frost, a Ute Sundance chief who's been involved with the town of Aspen and Pitkin County for many decades, because Pitkin County has always sought the advice of its native people, not always, but over many, many years, has sought the advice of its native people. So Kenny's here tonight to give us a blessing and to open this evening with his words of wisdom from the native heart. And then we have Andrew Bailey here, who will be the moderator of our panel. And Andrew is a filmmaker. He's the filmmaker of the film, and he'll speak to you about that we're here for as a fundraiser for. But he's been in court as a pro se litigant exposing big bank fraud to judges who have turned a deaf ear. That's a lot of why this panel is going on tonight. It's to speak to those judges and to speak to the world, to raise people to a higher conscience, to open their ears and open their minds to what's going on in America today. Then we have Stephen Brunette, who is a social justice attorney from Gasper Law Group in Colorado Springs. And I'm just going to read a little of his intro, just so I get it right. Stephen is, he specializes in real property and commercial litigation, focusing on effects of securitized mortgages on land titles in Colorado in the context of foreclosure and quiet title litigation. Steve will propose changes in Colorado foreclosure legislation designed to preserve the integrity of real property titles in Colorado and protect all real property owners from the fallout of failed securitization schemes. And then Tara Sheahn will speak, and she's the co-founder of Conscious Global Leadership Institute with her husband Casey Sheahn, who is the CEO of Patagonia Inc., as well as Luann here, who is in the audience. Welcome. And she will talk about the profitability of conscious business practices versus bottom line thinking, as evidenced by Patagonia's 3 record years employing the principles of inspired, collaborative, and conflict-free decision-making. The Conscious Global Institute trains business, government, and civic leaders in body, mind, spirit integration through meditation, symposia, workshops, and retreats. And we're hoping that our third panelist will make it tonight. He is Dr. William Wesson, a dentist here in Aspen for decades, and he is a homeowner, and he is a veteran pro se litigant in court. And he is going to speak on the courage and faith that it takes to defend yourself, to, well, not only defend yourself, but to seek justice in the world today. So that's our panel, and our incredible native person who's going to open it for us. Please come and give us your blessing, kind sir.